Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. We are joined by head coach Mike Babcock of the Bearcat football team. It's been our preview time of the 2016 season. We've talked offense, we've talked defense. Now it's time to talk special teams for McKendree. And in 2016, the theme has been experience on both sides of the ball. Special teams, no exception. Your four-year kicker back and Stephen O'Block, Brendan Fred, who took over the punting duties last year. He's going to get the call as well. And then not often you see a four-year snapper, a long snapper in Brandon Zier, a guy who really kind of anchors that special teams unit with his work, and then we'll get to the specialists in a moment. But let's talk about those big three to begin with.
Sure. You started off with Steve O'Block and a four-year starting kicker. Again, the big thing that I've seen, especially from his first 2 years to even last year, is just that experience and kind of that game day mentality of getting kind of the bugs out of it and being solid. I thought he had a great year last year. I thought he was very solid, very confident in what he has. And it's kind of fun to even push him a little bit in practice. Can he make 50 yarders? Can he make 55 yarders? We've tried even once or twice to push it back, even towards the 60 mark as well. So he's got the leg. Again, it's kind of that continuing to build that confidence in him, and I think he has that he feels that every single time he hits the field that he's going to make it through the uprights. And then the big thing that I've seen in the offseason is he's continuing to get better at his kickoffs. He started that last year, being the kickoff guy, but I think that he's getting better and better as far as where the ball is placed, how far he's kicking it. So again, I think he's doing a great job, and so hopefully that'll continue as we get in through the season. Brendan Fred, punter, had a great year last year, being the first time he punted in college, and to be the backup quarterback in punting as well. So I think it's very interesting to see what the dynamic is going to be as the possible starting quarterback, to be able to punt as well. But also a guy like Monty Wilkie has come in, and he redshirted last year, has done a great job too. We might end up seeing him a little bit as well at the punting position. And then I can't say enough good things about Brandon Zier. You usually don't say anything about Brandon Zier because he's the long snapper, and that could be a good thing. It's a good thing not to say anything, because usually when someone says something about the long snapper, it means that they do something bad. Brandon's been very solid. He knows the drill. He's been doing it now for 4 years, so he's a good guy, and hopefully that'll continue being solid as we get going.
In the return game, I know the primary returner of the last several years, Cameron James, gone to graduation, but his backup, actually a guy who shared kickoff duties with him last year, Derek Curry, he's going to get the call right now to handle both punt and kickoff returns. He's got some solid guys backing him up as well. Talk about your return game.
Derek Curry has the most experience out of everybody else. I think Cameron James, he's been the guy for 4 years straight. Back there on kickoffs and punts, and so getting a different guy back there. But Derek's got a lot of confidence. Why? Because he's done it before. He was in last year a lot on punt safe, so where our defense was out on the field, he was the guy back there just in case the offense ended up running a play. He would know what to do at safety. So he's got the experience. He's catching the ball very well. So definitely like him in what he's doing. Also like a guy like Daquan Dudley. Daquan's done a fantastic job this camp. He's really coming into his own. He played as a true freshman last year, spottingly. Not a lot, but he's extremely fast. He's a track guy, and I think if he ends up with the ball in his hands, he could end up making a couple guys miss just because of his speed. So I like those two guys. There's a couple other ones that are going to round out the mix, especially when it comes to kickoff. But overall, I like where we're at return-wise, and hopefully, get some good yards, if not a touchdown.
Before we wrap up the special teams, we don't want to leave out another important position. We talked about the long snapper. The holder will be new for the Bearcats this year. It's going to be Sean Dowling, who has actually seen some time there. I know Isaac Fisher's been the holder the last couple of years. How has that dynamic worked out working with Stephen O'Block on kicks?
Well, the big thing for the holder is you want a guy that's solid. He's going to catch everything. It's going to be down in place. It's going to be basically the same thing day in and day out, so that the kicker feels enough confidence so that when he comes in, that ball's going to be placed at the same time. And I trust Sean Dowling completely. I mean, this is a solid kid. He knows what he's doing. He does a great job with the wide receiver core, so I would hope that he could catch the ball. But again, he's done a nice job, being our holder, and I think Steve's got a lot of confidence in him to be able to get the snap, get it down, and get it ready for him to kick it through the upright. So hopefully no issues.
Coach, we've talked offense, we've talked defense, now we've talked special teams. Now it's time to gaze into that crystal ball for 2016. What's your overall assessment? Camp is done, game week is here, we're preparing for Angelo State. Talk about how things have gone, what you envision for 2016 for McKendree.
The last year I think was a great stepping stone for this program. Our two losses came basically with 4 minutes to go, 2 minutes in one game, 2 minutes in another game. So you're talking 4 minutes of time where we could have been very, very good and a chance to get to the playoffs. So how do we get that back? So I think the offseason has been fantastic. Guys have really worked hard. Really, again, that blue-collar, mentality. Had a lot of guys stay over the summer. I think camp's been going very well. And I think everyone from the coaching staff on down knows what our non-conference schedule is like. I wanted to give us a great test before we get into conference. We're starting right off the bat with a fantastic team like Angelo State. I mean, they've got votes in the top 25. They're a premier team in the Lone Star Conference. They're a fast-paced offense. They move the ball very well. They score a lot of points. So that's big pressure on our defense to see, hey, what can we do with a perennial offense going against them? And then the same thing for our offense. These are big guys up front. They're fast secondary. Can we handle the speed that we're going to see next Thursday? We then finish it up with West Liberty, who we played last year, and then go on the road and play Drake, a 1AA team up in Iowa. So, my hope is that we can continue to, push forward in those first 3 games and then get into conference, which is a big deal.
Coach, if you had to pinpoint 1, 2, maybe 3 keys to the season, what do you envision that being?
I think that we need to continue to build our depth in case, injuries happen, and they happen all the time at every position. So can we continue to get those 2s and 3s ready to go for game time so that when the one guy, if and when he ever went down, knock on wood, we're ready, with the next guy being able to step up and go. I think we also need to continue to create turnovers on defense and keep them away on offense. I've got 2 new quarterbacks that have a chance to get a lot of playing time. We cannot give the ball back over to their team. So turnovers, I think, are going to be a key for both sides. And then special teams. I think, being able to create field position, being able to create those big plays, whether they be on returns for big, yards or touchdowns, whether it's on kickoff or punt and holding them back in their end zone. I think field position will be key. So I think those are kind of the couple things that I'm looking at this year and hopefully continue to go 1-0 each week and win a couple games.
Coach, it's year 4 for you at McKendree. Does it get old? Are you ready for the season?
I've been ready for a while, so I want to be out there on the field coaching those guys, not behind the desk. So, it's fun. I'm excited, and away we go.
And I'm sure they're ready for September 1st. The clock is ticking. Coach, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the preview information this year, and good luck as you prepare for Angelo State.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget, you can continue to follow McKendree football and all the Bearcat athletic teams on the official home of McKendree Athletics, www.mckbearcats.com.